Welcome back to WagerTalk.com. NBA action, Saturday night action. This is a rematch from a few weeks back, actually the night before the Super Bowl. We've got Golden State at Oklahoma City. A lot of people think this could be the Western Conference Finals. If it's not, we know it's going to be Golden State and somebody, maybe Golden State and San Antonio or Oklahoma City. I got to say, Preston, normally you know me, I'm a contrarian, and I'm going to be giving the over in this one. And then I'm going to start by saying that on the surface, this may be the squarest play that I've ever given out on video to just say, oh, we got Golden State and Oklahoma City, let's go to the over. Sure. But I got reasons to do it. And whenever they played a couple weeks back, you know, it was that Saturday night primetime ABC game like it'll be this week, and it was before the Super Bowl, and there were all those props, the cross props, and, you know, so everybody was looking for a high-scoring game and Curry to score all this. And
that was my main prop was crossing that game, actually.
Yeah, and it ended up not being, but there was one major difference in that game and the game that we're going to have Saturday night. And you know I'm a situational guy. I love to look at schedules. And I've always said, Preston, tired teams don't play defense, okay? When these two teams met the first time, you had an oddity that generally doesn't happen for one team, let alone both teams when they met. Both teams were entering that game on 3 days off. In the NBA, that doesn't happen. So both were well rested, got an extra couple practices to prepare for your team, and I think it slowed the pace down a little bit, and I think that's going to get us value here in this next one because that total closed at, I think, 232.5.
Yeah, I was going to say 232.5 is the number it closed at. I think it opened about 3 points under that. So there was some money on the over. If you get something similar in that same range, then by all means, I think it's going to be the right side. All square, sharp things completely arbitrary anyway. If it's a square play but it wins 55% of the time, then that's the right play. You know, it doesn't matter if it's square or not. So I think there's no problem saying that. And if you like the over, I think that's fine. If I remember the game correctly, to be honest, preface this, I didn't check the box score, but if I recall, there was a ton of points in the first half, and the third quarter had like 42 or something. And then in the fourth quarter, it kind of slowed down because it was a close game till about the final minute. And so that's what some of the pace really did slow. But I think the second half generally was really low scoring comparison. If you look at like actual points per possession, Steph Curry had his worst shooting game of the entire season in that game, actually. You'd think that, you know, if they play it back, they're going to be scoring more. I think the total was 224 in that game, eventually 116, 108, something like that.
Yeah,
was that the score?
That was the final.
Okay, so you're probably going to be getting, I think, you know, in that same range of the number closing before. I'm with you. I think if you can get it somewhere in that 229 to 232 again, then the over is the right side.
Now, as I said about, you know, the tired teams, both of those were rested. For this one, it's totally different.
Completely different.
It's completely different because Golden State's coming in here. They're finishing up a 6-game road trip. And it's going to be not only the finish of a 6-game road trip, it's going to be 3 games in 4 nights. So obviously, if they're on the road, all of those games are different cities each night. So you got the travel schedule. But for Oklahoma City, even though it's a home game, they're playing 3 games in 4 nights, and it's going to be 3 different cities as well because they're playing the 2 previous games on the road. Nice. They're coming back home. So you're going to have teams that are not rested. And I know, well, sometimes people will say, well, don't they lose their legs, you know, if they're tired, you know, and the shooters need their legs? But not these teams the way they're transition teams.
And I'll say I play basketball a few times a week. If I'm tired, I give all my energy on the offensive end, and I don't give a damn on the defensive end. That's just how it is.
That's what it is. Tired teams don't play defense. It takes more effort to play defense than it plays offense. Let's face it. So that's where I'm backing this one at, and I'm looking at it. I think that we will get value. My job as a handicapper is to find value, and I think because the first game was just a couple weeks ago and it went under, they're not going to bring the number higher than it was. And this is a totally different situation where I think it actually should be higher based on the things that I said. So that's why I think there's value. And even though on the surface it looks square, but as you said, if you cash it, I'll put the square dollar bills in my pocket. Exactly. I don't care.
Exactly.
You know, and so that's where I'm going with this one. And I look for this one. I actually have them. My projections are 238 or more are going to be scored in this game. We're not going to be anywhere near that because we know Vegas as a whole, they kind of have a floor and a ceiling of where they go with certain totals. And I think the 232, unless we're playing an NBA All-Star game. You know,
Yeah.
there's just max as to where they can go. And the fact that it went under before, they're not going to go too far away from that. I'm going to go ahead and take the over here for my free play. And let's go ahead and make it official. I guess we pretty much did everything we could do with this one. And guys, just a reminder, weekend all access, $69, Thursday through Monday. Get every play. Pick your favorite capper. Get all of his plays for the weekend. You won't miss a play. $69 and save $10 with the coupon code LEAP10. That's LEAP in honor of leap year and the number 10. And you'll save $10 this week at WagerTalk.com. Preston and I will be back with more videos. Stay tuned here at WagerTalk.com.